Paya yen de ran zo ne do je sha ge ko ya ba ya to yo do je sha ge
남도 저저게 도시네 된된 밤에 링그 쉐로닌데 저게 농에 도저된 건 rollo 샤드 간제전도 도들은 뭐제 년제 저도 된배 신도 지워서도 저게 넘어서 파벨로 변소로 지도 체로근도 지지 나니를 덕에 점매샤게 용송데 장조님배 람게 거마보에 미제데 베지 조도 오메제게 인게 보론도 도송상제 근게모 라든 최고로면서 된데 뭐 저베 남매샤로 그샤 노소엔 로벨로 노제노 류제 근기 저도네 신동에서 담제도 남고레 장시기도 진미 제바로 존주로지 공모델레던 슈에던 찹직도 네, semjen tamjige dondo zobe sangji gobang togo ye de chedo cheni ge nyambe samba jache wa changjo semge go longo no dangne fenro chi shen.
Good evening, everyone, and please listen to Dharma with vast motivation of bodhicitta, thinking that I would like to help all sentient beings get liberation from samsara. Therefore, I would like to achieve the Buddhahood.
tene da derengi chedindi da chambada nyiji golla shye dubji tordi de ya dene nyame da goren bachi sumbi da go tarjin shisha jene ma shye.
And the topic for tonight's teaching is Maitri and Karuna, or loving kindness and compassion. And I'm going to talk on this topic based on the Ornament of Precious Liberation by Gambopa.
Tene deyang ganzoda tekwa chembegi juko de dene semge chanchoge semyin segiyore chanchoge semgi dene ngondo to chanchoge semgi ju to de da nyingji dang jamba de dene ngondo to yore deyang dene ta tekwa chembegi lamgi juko de ju to ji chak.
So usually the engendering bodhicitta is said to be the entrance to Mahayana practice, and the very cause of bodhicitta is the loving kindness and compassion. Therefore, this also becomes the foundation practice and the entrance of Mahayana practice.
다니 시위 대화를 차고 년보를 잠바다 닝제 공부해버려 자대 세념에다 버립니다. 시위 대화를 차고서도 다랑 지구 시위 시대라 타르바 톱들라 심반으로 대라 시위 대화를 차고 시저원이 다니 바시 랑 지구 냥엘레데바 토바르 되징 샘진 탐제 상지기 고봉 톱되기 로메바 샘진라 대화 메비 신든 미제바디 태과 멘비기 다 람다보인 제차기요레다 잠바다 니제데 메나 되는 태과 멘비기 람조장 대다량 다기 된지를 신든 니 망보 다장 당자데 랑든 체체를 세주르나 랑기 된기 초도 주르세 다 시럽 충충다 강소 지속이 되네 강소 신기 된 제야디 랑도 많이 받어보지 되네 통계요래 되네 랑 지구 된 주에 tarwa 돈전여와디 되네 랑전 저거 통계요래 되네 시럽 저침보당 되네 강소 로 저침보 대속이 다와이나 되네 현전디 나랑게 된게 조 촉도 줄거디 랑게 된게 나네장 촉도 줄거디 차기요래 송 랑게 된게 촉도 줄을 시송소.
And this chapter, loving kindness and compassion, is the chapter 7 in this text, the ornament of precious liberation. And then this is actually working on loving kindness and compassion is to practice on the Mahayana path. And it reads, the teaching on the practice of loving kindness and compassion are the remedy to being attached to the pleasure of peace. So what does attached to the pleasure of peace means? It is the desire to achieve nirvana only for oneself without an altruistic mind for sentient beings. And because of it, one does not benefit others. This is called the lesser vehicle or the inferior vehicle. And thus it is said, to achieve one's own benefit, one sacrifices the benefit of many others. The more one attends to self-interest in this way, it becomes supremely beneficial for oneself. So those of being who have little knowledge, they don't understand that working for others actually brings the result for oneself. So that's why they give up working for others and they try to work only for themselves. But for those beings who have the vast knowledge, understand that actually to work for others' benefit is the best way of benefiting oneself too. That's why it says working for others is the supreme way of benefiting oneself.
잠바다 닝제 줄을 깨나 샘젠라 차베 디 차과디다 세와 인서 샘젠라 저거 세외당 덴베 랑 지부 코로알레도 미페도 다 샘젠 담제 유션에 랑 지부 도표게 말해 대나 잠바다 닝제 곰바르 자데 로벤 잠벨 더비션내장 태파 첨보 빼 잠바다 닝제당 깨직장 저러 미자데 다 태파 첨보게 냠len 제겐지 있는 손에 잠바다 닝제 깨직지양 저와 메바 셈라 냐로코레 세송을 셰당 셴게 됐네 잠바다 닝제 제수 숨기 셰당기네 마인데 다 태과 침별론라쇼데 신샘진 제수 송고리 제수 송고리 잠마다 닝제 제송을 송고리 마도 셰당기네 둘째 얼로만 제수 송도 말에
So if one develops loving kindness and compassion, then one is attached to sentient beings, which means one will love naturally to sentient beings. This the word it uses is attached because in Tibetan it says chakwa, samjana chakwa, which means you become attached to sentient beings. That means you will be more full of kindness for sentient beings, and there no attain liberation only for yourself. So when you become attached to sentient beings, then you don't think only for your benefit, because you also want to liberate all sentient beings. Therefore, one should practice loving kindness and compassion, because in order to practice on Mahayana path, you must work for other beings. And therefore, in order to work for other beings, then you must have loving kindness and compassion. And the Manjushri Kirti said, this is the name of a master, he said, the Mahayana followers should not separate their minds from loving kindness and compassion for even a moment. So, those of you who would like to practice Mahayana path, your mind should never be separated, even for a moment, from loving kindness and compassion. because this is the only way that you can practice Mahayana path, to loving them. And also, more quotation, others' benefit is preserved by love and compassion, not by hatred. So that means you can work for others' benefit if you have love and compassion. If your mind is always full of anger or hatred, then there's no way that you can practice work for others. If you cannot work for others, then there's no way that you can practice the Mahayana path. Therefore, it is very important to work on this loving kindness and compassion, or maitri or karuna.
Yewa migi namba dang gomtab chongse yunden de dedar chubo deda gi jamba tseme yongso du zeta dena songya di jamba gomsul gomya di liu chik dang nyingji gomsul di liu chik haga songsha to ina daring chala shuja ota dene penje le chikba gara da yewa da jamba dāññīñcē la yewa kātā yorasē nā sum semjen la mikbi jamba dāng semjen la mikbi ñīñcē dī nāngshīn chē la mikbi jamba dāng chē la mikbi ñīñcē mikba mēbi jamba dāng mikba mēbi ñīñcē tabu tā sum chikpa tabu sung jato dēdā jāng pakpa lōdē mēsēbi tō le semjen la mikbi jambane sem dangba kebe jangjo semba namgi so sem dangba keba jangjo semba le dangba ba namgi gomgire feyndere semjen la mikbi che la mikbi jamba ne cheba la shubbi jangjo semba namgi o ta cheba paru de chimba dugi cheba la shubba dang ngoso ngoma nyamlen la shubhi jangi samati dogi chola mikbi nyingje komgiri then mikba mebi jamba da nyingje di migiwi chola soba tobe jangjo samba namgi then mikba mebi nyingje dong mikba mebi jamba komgiri then tuba di tuba sungso.
So now we are going to talk about the loving kindness and compassion. Actually, in this text, in the ornament of precious liberation, some people also translate it as a jewel ornament of liberation. But now some translators say ornament of precious liberation, but I think that is better, because that's more closer in Tibetan with Tarpa Rinpoche again. So I'm using the latter one, okay? So those of you who are used to this, the earlier, ornament of jewel ornament of liberation, then this is the same thing I'm talking. I'm saying the ornament of precious liberation. Okay. So in this, actually, the loving kindness and compassion are taught in different category or different section, kind of. But tonight, since the time is very limited, I'm going to explain them together simultaneously. So the summary, actually, this the loving kindness is taught in the 6 categories: classification, the object, and identifying characteristic, method of practice, a measure of the practice, and qualities of the practice. Thus, these 6 completely comprise the study and practice of immeasurable loving kindness. So this is the summary, or sometimes we also say root text, root verses. So the first, classification. There are 3 categories: loving kindness and compassion. As I said, I'm going to teach them because they are almost same thing. Therefore, there are 3 categories of loving kindness and compassion, which are the loving kindness and compassion focus on sentient beings, or in this translation it says loving kindness and compassion with sentient beings as its object. So, which means focus on the sentient beings. And the second one is loving kindness and compassion with phenomena as its object. So usually I translate like the loving kindness and compassion that focus on phenomena or dharma, and that is Tibetan Chulamikpa. And the last and the third one is translated in this text. It says, and non-objectified loving kindness, or usually I say a compassion or loving kindness without any object or without any focal object. And these are the category, classification, three of them. And then what are they? Then we have quotation from a sutra. The sutra is called Akshamati Requested Sutra. And it says, loving kindness and compassion with sentient beings as its object is practiced by bodhisattva who just develop bodhicitta. Which that means is the first category of loving kindness and compassion is for those bodhisattvas who just engender bodhicitta mind, or who just, let's say the beginner bodhisattva, who just taken the bodhicitta vow. And then second one, it says, loving kindness with phenomena as its object is practiced by those bodhisattvas who are engaged in the conduct of the path. So what that means is, the second one is a little higher, so those who are actually practicing the 6 parameters, such as generosity and discipline, or this is what you call the loving kindness focused on the phenomena or dharma. And then the last one is non-objectified loving kindness, or the loving kindness without any focal object is practiced by the bodhisattva who achieve confidence in the unborn nature of the dharma.
Tela kap diri jamba tangbo de shena se tangbo di da kang le semjen la mi bi jamba di nang shen semjen la mi bi ning je di sheba ina de mi bi yul ne semjen tham je to se ta jamba gomba ina yang mi bi yul di semjen tham je ning je gom na yang mi bi yul di semjen tham je se di da rang dang shin gi ye wa me ba 체와당 중의기 개발을 매바 포당 뭐기 개발을 매바 미당 dundu 셈진기 개발을 매바 되네 담젤라 되네 미길도 공급해 봐요. 이 인자다 디가도 봐이나 디네 네자 서바디 나르위기 네바도 볼라 미구나 이 나겐 네바디당 네 저게 네북디 니가라 되네
So out of these 3 categories or 3 classification of the compassion or loving kindness, the first one is taught extensively in this text. Therefore, I'm going to explain that. And as we said, the loving kindness and compassion is taught in the 6 categories. The first one we already done, the classification. We have 3 of them. And then now, second is the object. And it says, the object of this compassion is all beings, or all sentient beings, which means there is no difference at all. No difference between oneself and others. There is no difference between huge sentient beings and little tiny sentient beings. And there is no difference between the gender, female, or male. We have to bring all of them equally as an object of our compassion and loving kindness. So therefore, regarding current situation, when we try to practice loving kindness and compassion, for example, if we make special focus on those people who are infected by this new coronavirus, then actually we should have compassion equally both to those people who are infected and those virus who are infecting them. We should not have any difference between them. Like for example, we should have more compassion for people who are being infected, and then we should not have compassion for the virus. Is that not? We should have compassion equally for virus and for the people, for the patients.
네 남반이 대화당 체벌 대별로 다 잠베기 남바디 그래서나 셈젠 탐제 되네 대화당 된나 마지마롱 대화지 톱나 지마롱 대화당 첸나 지마롱 냠베기 로디 되네 강서 잠베기 남바 잠르다 Then Ninjigi numbers the Vajana, then Dungel down Deldu, Dungel down Dungel Jebu Dungel down, Dungel gi Ju Migewa down Jepa Tamje down Delne, then number Kundo, then Dungel Meba Dewa Dembachuna, Yambegi, Dorna, Dewa down Dende, the Jambegi number down.
So now we are at the third out of 6 categories. We have done already the classification. We have already done with the object. And now the third one is number, interpreted number. In this text it says identifying characteristics, but usually I say definition. Let's say definition. So little difference between compassion and loving kindness is here. Otherwise, almost they're the same. That's why I can teach simultaneously. But here, I have to explain the difference between them. So, the Buddhist definition for loving kindness is a mind that wants all sentient beings to be happy or possess happiness and the causes of happiness. So, this is the definition of what we call loving kindness or Maitri. Because loving kindness is the translation of Jamba in Tibetan. So the definition of Jamba is a mind that wants all sentient beings possess happiness and the causes of happiness. And the compassion is the translation of Inje in Tibetan word. Again, the definition for that word is very similar, but the way how we explain is different. Earlier, for the loving kindness, we says a mind that wants all sentient beings possess happiness and causes of happiness. Now, the definition of compassion is a mind that wants all sentient beings be separated from the suffering and the causes of suffering. So when you are separated from suffering and the causes of suffering, then you naturally become happy and then you will have the... So they are very similar. So these are the definition of loving kindness and compassion, or Jamba and Inje in Tibetan.
네, 대인들 다 잠바다 닝제 검탑 저거 검술 저거 제바이나 되는 가서다 샘젠 담젠 대화당 대위 주당 덴바르 조지 세네 디 두스 거두 중에야 초로 디 칸에 책 점바당 되네 제부 대화당 대위기 주 개화당 덴바르 조지 삼백이 된다 디 셈라 젠토바 디당 마절바제나 되네 잠바 선배고 뭐 대가랑 잠바 선배고 뭐 차게 대나jen 샘젠 탐jen 동엘당 동엘기 주당 절월 조지 세 칸에야 두주 거두 종종 디 되메가서 된다디 되네 샘젠 탐jen 제부 동엘당 동엘기 주 미게와 레년당 탐제당 절월 조지 냠베기 되네 미버디 가서 전시당 마절바지기 치기지서 된 점반진 마절바제나 되네 닝제 공부디 딜레 하고 믹스 로즈 믹스 닝제 공부야지 디 고쳐도도 디 되네 샘전 탐제 예리 예린차 동엘 메베 대화도 메더와 조지세 가서라 되네 대화당 덴베기 샘전 대달라 되네 가와 공부 되네 예린 차단이당 샘전 남녀 예린 차단이당 대외당이 정말로 조지세 가서다 랑신기 초메바 다신기 초메바 체중기 초메바 탐제 샘전 탐제 되는 대화는 말이죠. 디 치강 15디기 된 치칸에 저기 된다데 셈나게 벌도 전도 바제나 된 세메시 로스 코미아제 감는 디나 고쳐 튜브.
So how we practice this compassion and loving kindness is usually most of the Mahayana texts, practice manual, has at the beginning. So we recite almost every day, few times actually. So the word says in Tibetan, Samjen Tamje Dewatang Devakyudan Devaky means may all sentient beings possess happiness and the causes of happiness. So when we recite this line, just not reciting by mouth, but also if you can focus on the meaning and recollect the meaning of the word, then the practice of loving kindness is already there, and you don't need any separate practice for that. Again, the next line is for compassion. It says, may all sentient beings be free from the suffering and the causes of suffering. We recite that every day. So whenever you recite that, if you can think of the meaning and focus on the meaning with the awareness, and you don't need different separate practice for compassion. It's already there. So it's very important for us to be mindful when we do the recitation of these lines. And then next is for the immeasurable sympathetic joy. That's what you call gawatseme in Tibetan. So when we recite that, again it says, Dungal mebe dewa tampata mendawar giji. We just said like that. So which actually is, at that time you have to think that you have to be delight in the sentient beings' happiness. When they are very happy, then you should also rejoice in their happiness. And if you can do that, and the practice of sympathetic joy is already there, present, so you don't need it separately. And the last one is immeasurable equanimity. So again, when you do the practice of this immeasurable fourth line, then if you can focus equally all sentient beings without making any difference between them, then the practice of immeasurable equanimity is already there. You don't need a separate practice for that.
파마 임바 파마 마제바 지자메 파마 제비 갑도 되네 진 첨보 임바 진 건데 첨보 임바 좀생 건데 더진 넘버 시 거네 류게 베진당 지 가와 제비기 진당 니속 진비기 진당 숨 지된데 진당 시 돈에 되네 공도 진 넘버 시
So in this text, in the ornament of previous liberation, Gampopa taught us how to practice the loving kindness if you have hard time to generate this altruistic mind in your mind. And then he says the most important thing here is you should recollect or remember the kindness of others. So if you can remember the kindness of others, then it will be easy for you to engender the loving kindness in your mind. And then also he taught as a focus at the beginning our root mother, which means the mother of this life. And then he says there are mainly 4 different kindness that he gave us. It says the kindness of giving you the body, this very physical body, and the kindness of undergoing a hardship for you, and kindness of giving you life, and the kindness of showing you the world. And these are the 4 different kindness that is taught in this text.
당보 류게비 진네 다니기 류디 당보네 봉체 조바 샤류 제바 카독 렉바지 중얼 미다디 제동바디 네 룽기 왕도 제나 룽기 왕도 제나 제동발리 지치르시나 마디 다우자 깨바당 직 마디네 카와 제바당니 마디네 다우자기 속 진바당 숨 마디네 지된 근점바 이노스네다 송바레 됐다 디치동벨롱.
So the 4 kindness that is taught in this text the ornament of precious liberation is not something that was just made up by Gampopa himself, but actually it was taught by Buddha himself in sutra. And then we have the quotation here from the Paramita Sutras, which is called 8,000 stanzas, Getongba in Tibetan. And it says, why is it? And the answer is that the mother has given us these bodies. The mother went through hardship. The mother gave us our lives. And the mother has shown us the whole world. So based on this quotation from Buddha, from this Paramita Sutra, and Gampopa taught the 4 different kinds of mothers that we received from them, from her.
당번에 아맹엘의 템베갑네 봉츠 쪽과 샬류 제바 카도 렉바지 중얼 미다데 마이 또월 메르메르다 노르늘 게란신네 케키 동 림기 마이 샤타기 주기니께 세기 당면이 벨 와사당 나사당 동엘 탐제 쇠바리 제발레 두바인 치르게네장 총피부 짬네 소종제네 체 야보 정도 개바이노 가와 제비진네 이 그바도
So, out of these 4 kindness that we received from our mother, the first one, the kindness of giving you a body. Thakpo Rinpoche said, at first, our bodies are not fully mature, or nor are our pleasure complexions. We started in the mother's womb as just an oval spot and oblong lump. These are the name of Tibetan technical term that the stages of the development of your body in the mother's womb. So we have many different terms, and this is a very approximate translation, I think. Oval spot and then oblong lump. That's how it translated. And from there, we develop through the vital essence of the mother's blood and flesh. We grew through the vital essence of her food while she endured embarrassment, pain, and suffering. After we are born from a small, in Tibetan we say pubud. Pubud is something meaning of the little tiny knot, something like that. But here it translates worm. But anyway, just you know where we are born, how big we are, right? That's what it is saying actually. So this is just an example. And then until we fully grown as a big yak, it says. Okay, big yak. It doesn't say in this translation, but in Tibetan it says a big yak. Then she developed everything in our body. And this is the first kind of kindness that we received from our mom. And then second, which says the kindness of undergoing hardship for you, means mother has to go through many different hardship to nurture you, but she doesn't mind. She is happily taking all this hardship for you. That's what it means. At first, we were not wearing
니바 가와제베 딘네 다오자 당번네 아밍엘네 용드네 괴준 젠샤답 노르기 깔라켈 자우체 쿨네옹와 미다데 카드 송징 말라와 노르제게 너버 지양메바르 카드르스니 카당 저거지
티티샤.
말라바 노르제기 메바 치양 메바 카동바당 저거 동바지 케네레야만 노르제 메바 치양 메바 동상의 제네 지바 미직장 메바랑 뭐 미시기 율도 옹베 뒤소 메 똑수 마주버 세진 꼼도 마주버 뚱얼리 착수 마주버 괴근 풍바름 마샤버 너진 대양 랑라 미코와 불러진바 따보 마인바르 랑게 사마다 뚱마다 근마다 체디 대위된도양 제마페 침마 펜체기 롱제기 된도양 똥마베바 인데 된라 랑게 체디치 니기 대와라 마데바르 부수 종제바 이노 대양 대델기 녀바다 대양 되네 주노르디양 레러버체네 녀바 말이든 타고 마인데 디바다 두멜 강엘 쳇 나초기 둠네 불러진바인 디발라 삼나 송나 카브레 냐바제 카시 셴바제 라소바 미게와 나초제네 부스바인 두멜라 삼나 총복동 싱레 라소바 제네 인센두 바모 함도근 까첸 샤르준 진바 따르션 nerma choksutab jinsha kilajin dongsha milajin sakin bulajin bayin chenyang rangre phamada lama lasoba jinjin gangwe jang jirmyong suyin chamebo dela jebar jede jambe mikini te jambe dregini su sorchu kalani ying 년비 나기니 베데 고 아오 바리 괴세 루루 아미키볼라 삼시발라 소페 제파인
The second kindness is kindness of undergoing hardship for you. Means that at first when we were born, we were not wearing any clothes with all their ornamentation, did not possess any wealth, and did not bring any provisions. We just came with a mouth and stomach, empty-handed, without any material things. When we came to this place where we knew no one, she gave food when we were hungry. She gave drink when we were thirsty. She gave clothes when we were cold. She gave wealth when we had nothing. Also, she did not just give us things she did not need. Rather, she has given us what she did not dare use for herself, things she did not dare eat, drink, or wear for herself, things she did not dare employ for the happiness of this life, things she did not dare use for her next life's wealth. In brief, without looking for happiness in this life or next, she nurtured her child. She did not obtain these things easily or with pleasures. She collected them by creating various negative karma, by sufferings and hardship, and gave them all to the child. For example, creating negative karma, she fed the child through various non-virtuous actions like fishing or butchering and so forth. For example, suffering to give to the child, she accumulated wealth by working at a business or farm and so forth, wearing frost for shoes, wearing stars as head, riding on the horse of her legs, her hem like a whip, giving her legs to the dogs and her face to the people. Furthermore, she loved the unknown one much more than her father, mother, and teachers who were very kind to her. She watched the child with eyes of love and kept it warm in soft cloths. She dandled the child in her 10 fingers and lifted it up in the sky. She called to it in loving, pleasant voice, saying, "Joyful one, you who delight mommy, Lulu, you happy one," and so forth.
숨바 속 진비진 속진비진네 dakchak 당본에 다다더웨 칼락 처바 깔레 지영뉴비 셰버 체직 중얼입니다. 신부 코나 더웨 냐레녀리 쾌메보 삼락고 직중얼라 매 대마보르와라 샵독지 방돌랑 매당 출리 잡 양산레 송 네반니 셀 림도니 제데 시독 나독 네 모당 지당 도당 lok당 초갈라서 뭐 삼기 미첩진 르 미추버제네 부이 속된 바인.
And the third kindness is the kindness of giving your life. So life, in Tibetan we have sok. This is the translation of sok. Sometimes the life also could be translation of tse, but sok is, I'm not sure what life actually, the definition in English itself, but something that keeps you alive. That is called sok in Tibetan. In Sanskrit we say prana, or something like that. But anyway, so this is one of them. This is the third, because of her we have this the alive life, not the dead life, alive life, right? Let's say something like that. Okay. So the text says, at first we were not capable of eating with our mouth and hands, nor were we capable of enduring all the different hardships. We were like feeble insect without strength. We were just silly and could not think anything. Again, without rejection, the mother served us, put us on her lap, protected us from fire and water, held us away from precipices, right? Is that how you pronounce? It's cliffs, actually it's cliff. In Tibetan we say yang. Usually I translate the cliffs, the high, steep cliffs, but here it says different word. I hope I'm doing the correct pronunciation. Precipices. So it says, held us away from precipices, dispel all harmful things, and perform ritual. Out of fear for our death or fear for our health, she did divinations and consulted astrologers. Through many ritual ceremonies and many other different things in inconceivable ways, she protected the life of her child.
지금 직된 때문에 dakchak 당본이 미시 구시보 통화진 검지진 레가르진의 제적적 된데 민도선 곧 저버직 데리 용어입니다. 신년기 리글로 총에 배바당 강락 요바 직 말라바 지양 미시바 직 임발라 사 미시비 두소 사와랍 근 미시비 두소 근발랍 도 미시비 두소 도와랍 므람 미시비 두소 므라와랍데 아기당 아마기당 xie jiao la zogba dang, sorik la zogba, yunde na zog lam ne, xengi bugu mi nyamba dang nyamba je, xengi bugu dang mi chungba, ma chunggi bardo na dene, odo jem chungbar jeba, yin no, chungba jeba yin, da dene.
And the fourth and the last kindness of mother that we receive from her is the kindness of showing you the world. Means that at first we did not come here knowing various things, seeing broadly and being talented. We could only cry and move our legs and hands. Other than that, we knew nothing. The mother taught us how to eat when we did not know how. She taught us how to wear clothes when we did not know how. She taught us how to walk when we did not know how. She taught us how to talk when we did not know how to say mama or hi, and so forth. She taught us various skills, creative arts, and so forth. Creative art is the Zorigba in Tibetan. We have different kinds of 10, we usually say 10 sciences, and this is one of them. So Zorigba is translated as creative arts here, and so forth. She tried to make us equal. So when we are not equal with others, she gives us all things that makes us equal with the other. And when we are unequal, she tried to make us equal when we are unequal, and tried to make the uneven even for us.
야, 다디 잠박 검술 다 디 단대게 파마델라 진시 디 여바낭신 대가랑도 체라코라 통마메바 메바인디 파마게 장라 통마메바 장카메바 semjen 탐제 파마차기여 바래 대 단도 탐제기 장 되는 단대 파마되기 되는 진심바시 간제선 장여 봐 되는 파마 탐제기 semjen 탐제기 장 파마제베 값수 디낭신기 진심바 임베기 출 시에네 되는 semjen 탐제라 잠바고.
So these are the four kindness that we receive from our root mother, which means the mother of this life. And then if you think this very carefully, then you will naturally have a love for your mother. That's for sure. And then if you say, then, okay, we can have love, loving kindness and compassion for our mother, but how can we extend that same loving kindness and compassion for the rest of sentient beings? The answer is, again, according to Mahayana view, there is a single being that has not been our parents in the many previous lives from the very beginningless of our life in samsara. Therefore, once you become convinced with the kindness of this very life, and then you can have loving kindness and compassion for this life, then you can think all the rest of other sentient beings in the same way. They must have been my parents, and when they were my parents, and they must have given me the same kindness that this mother did. And this way, then you can develop your loving kindness and compassion equally for all sentient beings. And that's how the way you practice.
다디 잠마 검술제 되는 인제 검술디 koran de shirsha jena tene nyelwe dungel gi nyewe semjing gi dungel la mingne yingje komna yida gi semjen la komne tene de dungel la delde gi yingje komna la dundre gi semjen da de na jin dungel re ngenson sum la zo be dungel re la samne tene yingje komsul de sung
targen nang ro di targen nang den sung da targen nang. Okay, so since we have no much time, only 2 minutes left, to say a concise way of how you practice the compassion, then actually it is taught focusing on the suffering of lower realms mainly in this text. For example, you can practice compassion, focusing on the suffering of hell's realm, and you can practice compassion, focusing on the suffering of hungry ghost realm or pretas realm, and same, you can practice compassion, focusing on the suffering of animal realms.
다 이나 초도르도 와토버chen 다 강도 ngara samsul do ngeshike daya tobachi shuna dene 닝제 omdo da jirang semjenji yinne songde guju jabyagi ukji yene songde dene dewa topdegi samlodang dungel deldogi samlo megin sujigyo mare 부인나야다 dundu semjen chimbo inayanda mi inayanda 강당 인나양 되네 대화 톱대당 동일 dordo 길레디 지과 지정 자기 유여바리
So to make it short from my own experience, let's say all sentient beings, when we say sentient beings, that means all phenomena that possess life and that can breathe. So these are what we call sentient beings. So as long as anything that has breathing and life, and they have the same thinking of wanting happiness and not wanting suffering. Doesn't matter whether it is a little insect or huge human being, and so whatever. Everyone has this same thinking, the same way of thinking of wanting happiness and not wanting the suffering.
나네 시야디 호랑 지dengi 최니레 수인나야 차강 나네 시로야 냐지그레 이나양 단다 믹세기 나사지글레디 창마 짜낭지기요레 간소 다 디나사디 구기리 디나사디기 시기리 디나사디기 두고당게레데네 짜낭당 신앙 시고지 데네 지기요바레 델라 삼로당나 데네 당가서 dundu semjen chigla samlo tang ta yak tang ra tang luk tang bajok tang phagwa la so ba di ngaso gi tene chanja jamne tene khashi chanja chukne se khashi ke tumne se khashi kanglak damne kingne se tene jo di je di ngarang la tanda 나사지기 민지 퇴바 잠라야 낭덕 되네 개개를 디셈진 디술로 되네 강서 천적이 개도 천적 저거 나라 주 천적 인강락 둠네 세기 다 델라 동을 가제던 가제 영사래 디 마랑 임미게 삼로 땅네 디 dundu sem진 디 마랑 임미게 삼로 땅네 되네 디 동을 당텔되기 미바kom나 되네 강서 때데 예시 체도
So, in general, every sentient beings at the end they die with some causes, sicknesses or whatever, and that is the nature of samsara. So there's nothing we can do. But now we have this terrible disease just by mere hearing the name of which everyone become frightened and figure out. Therefore, now let's think, usually people kill a lot of animals. For example, the yaks or goats or sheep, pigs or cows and so forth. And there's different way of slaughtering them or killing them. Some are beheaded, some are stacked, or some are suffocated and so forth. So when even we think about this coronavirus that we might get infected, how much terrified we are. Then when they are being actually killed, then you can replace yourself in their place and think how much feeling you might have. In this way, if you think that way, then you might get the glimpse of unconditional love for them.
yang ngaso 탑산나라 레갈레데 눔 셀바직 라발라도나야 베차나 네데네 간소 베 소여마토바 더버 차기요레 제기요레 델라 삼록당나 데네 ngaso기 다 사칸낭데졸라 냐 sombo 눔나라 ngone 사기요레 데나신 부다메라 sombo 데네 눔나라 존네 사기요레 di ngarang lawe kong la num chaba je lo de charo de la sam lo dang na di num na lo ge nya de ngarang yim ba de che di bu de ngarang yim ba de ngarang di de che ngo ne choro ka de yong sa re di la sam lo dang ne de ne gong zo di so gi dung la le ning je ko me de ke chim ma da.
And also another way of how we can develop the compassion and loving kindness for sentient beings, especially for animals, is we can, because the human being consumed many different kinds of animals. For example, we consume lots of different kinds of seafood, which are being fried alive or being cooked alive, for example, fishes and so forth. So we can think of them and then try to put yourself in that situation and then think how much suffering we have. For example, when we try to fry something, if you get a spark of a hot oil on your hand or somewhere, how much pain you have? We have unbearable pain. So when you are actually being fried alive, then how much pain there would be? We can think that way and try to have some compassion for those sentient beings who are actually being fried alive in this hot oil. And then maybe you will have some glimpse of compassion. Okay, now the time is up. And we will do this second Dharma prayer. Please get your book ready and then chant with us. So next Saturday, the topic is Tonglen practice, giving and taking. So before we do that, we talk about that, we will complete this, because out of the 6 subjects, we still have 2 of them. The benefit of practicing loving kindness and compassion, and the result of practicing loving kindness, that I will talk next Saturday. And today we do this prayer now. Okay. Oman be moman 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 Oman be moman 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 Oman be moman 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 be Oman be moman 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 be Oman be moman 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 be Oman be moman 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 be Oman be moman 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 be Oman be moman 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 be Oman be moman be moman be moman be moman be moman be Oman be moman be moman be moman be moman be moman be Oman be moman be moman be moman be Oman be me o le da lo bora ke le gyarwa ye de da le da yo se wa zo sem ye ye me de be ne na go ye je de ga zo jo ra ma jo ye da ra ye me te be ze ja ye ge ye so do ne ge do ma je ne ba ye je de gam so jo ra ma jo ro je da je je ya kha na ze ba da ye ne ge me da ye de be da je ye je ba da ye da be zo ge lo je ba la ye ne bra ma jo ro je ne be ge re ya don da ye jo na ye lo ro ye do ya ya do jo no ye ya da ye ne la so ba ye lo je ba la ye se wa ra ma jo ro je lo sa de wa ya ma lo ya do je be jo je do be do ma je ne ma lo je ye da do ya de ba da ya de re ne me de ge de ma ra la ma go jo so ge do je da ya ga do je jo so me de do no ne de lo wa me be de lo ge mo wa ya mo lo ya da se ro bo ro yo. Our usual dedication prayer. Oh, so non de ye de ye de wa ye tom ne ye be ya ra na ya Thank you and good night.
Good night.